morning. I'm starting my day off with a golden latte before we get into some things I've kept to myself for a long time. People talk a lot about the benefits of going raw vegan, how it clears your skin, helps you lose weight, gives you energy, and all of that is beautiful. But what I don't hear often, which led to my silence on this matter, is the grief. Let's take a moment to focus on that because it's real and you're not going crazy. You're also not the only one. When I was experiencing grief, I felt that my emotions were indicating that I hated the lifestyle. That alone left me sitting in a lot of shame, but I've grown to know that it's normal. Food isn't just fuel. It's emotional, it's social, and when you give up what you used to eat, you grieve that version of yourself. The version who didn't overthink every bite. The version who could blend in. The version who didn't have to explain herself. I used to bond with people over food. Potlucks, brunches, late night snacks. Those were more than just meals. They were connections. And when I chose this raw vegan lifestyle, I started feeling left out. I'd go to social events and feel awkward, not because I was treated differently, but because I felt different. I was operating differently. Friends were supportive, but it didn't stop them from doing and eating what they loved. So I would just question if I was being extreme or is this really my new path? Even though I have the same circle of people around me, I still felt like I lost a part of them, a version of them that they now share with other people. And that loss hurts. It really, truly does. It's okay to miss that comfort, to feel the ache of what used to be easy. Life hits you with challenges one way or another. This is just the challenges I face. So what do I do with that grief? First, I let it be real. I don't rush to positive vibes only. I cry if I need to, write letters to my old self, journal about the foods I miss, and most importantly, I talk it out with someone. Grieving is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's a sign you're growing. And the beautiful thing is, you can honor the past while stepping into the future. Just start with why. Now is the moment. It's the peace of alignment, the pride of self-honesty, and the strength of choosing myself over and over and over again. So one of the things that, I've never shared on my journey is how I grieved over my past lifestyle. So I actually thought that my transition would be the same as it was when I went vegan back in 2016. Well, it wasn't. It was not. It was a challenge, and I was a little afraid to share that with you guys, so I didn't. I felt embarrassed. I felt as though if I admit that I truly didn't want to live this lifestyle, I felt as if I felt like a hypocrite a little bit. Like, how can I promote this lifestyle and say it's so great, but at the same time, I'm grieving my old lifestyle? And what I mean by that is things like when I would go home for the holiday, all of my first cousins would get together and we would go to brunch the next day, and we would catch up on so many things. We would catch up on, our traumas, our successes, and all of those things. And I miss those moments. And so it was never about the food. It was really about just bonding with people. And you'll be surprised how many people bond over food. The fact that, I thought that my diet was just changing because, before, when I initially went vegan, it was a smooth journey. I think the world was more accepting of vegans. There were so many vegan restaurants, where I lived at that time when I transitioned, which was in Georgia. And there were so many vegans at that time. I don't know. It was so many vegan options at restaurants, and I just felt comfortable. It really felt like a dietary change. That's it. I didn't think that, you know, my life would change completely. I wish I would have done it in private as far as deciding to transition, but I did it publicly, so it was a lot of pressure on me to stick with it. I didn't want to let my audience down, and that was a good thing and a bad thing, because I don't ever want to feel forced to do something that I really don't want to do. But at the same time, on the good side of it, it was like, if it's something that I really, really want to do, then they're holding me accountable. So in this particular situation, I feel as though it was a good thing in retrospect because it held me accountable. But at the same time, I wish I would have like considered everything before I decided to make that change. You have to go through the seasons. You have to go through Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Valentine's Day, all the holidays, the random events, and all of those happen, you know, within a year. So luckily I did, and I still make, you know, corrections even now. Like, okay, how can I make this lifestyle more comfortable for me? How can I make it feel a little bit more, how can I say this? How can I make this lifestyle more open to where I don't feel like I'm the only person that's like living this way? How can I invite people into my world? Should I, you know, say, hey, this Christmas, we're gonna have a big Christmas party at my house, but we're gonna, you know, do raw foods, to where I don't always feel like I have to pack my food or I have to call whoever's hosting whatever and say, hey, do you have this as an option? And usually most people are accommodating. I'm not saying that, because if they aren't, you don't need to be around them. You don't need to fellowship with them, nothing. It needs to be no type of relationship. But I have a great relationship with the people in my life, so I didn't really have to deal with those challenges, but I am grateful, you know, very grateful for that. That made me realize that this is bigger than I thought. Like, this is not a simple, you know, dietary change. This is a lifestyle change in regards to my habits, my daily routine, like just everything that I could even possibly think of that was normal to me prior changed. It's never about food. It's always about, you know, the memories attached to those moments or those foods. Like when I was younger, we would always have a pizza party at my house. So whenever I see pizza, I think of parties. And, you know, whenever I see cake and ice cream, I think of birthday parties, you know, the parties that my dad would have for me at school when I was in elementary. So it's a lot of memories tied to a lot of the foods that I used to eat. So the point that I'm making is that just because you're grieving does not mean that you are not ready for this lifestyle or this lifestyle isn't for you. And it does not make you a hypocrite. It does not make you a bad person. It does not make you a liar. It just means that you're in that messy middle where you're not where you were, but you're not where you're trying to go. And that's perfectly fine. And so I hope this really encouraged you guys to continue on your journey, even when you're grieving over your previous lifestyle. I once grieved my old habits, my old identity, my old life. I acknowledge those old moments and move past them gracefully. I allow myself to feel it, to walk through it, because on the other side of grief is something scarce. It's not always what I've given up, but what I've given into. I've gained full health and clarity. I am deeper in love with who I am, and even through the sadness, I was rising. If you don't take anything else from me, take this. You're allowed to grieve. You're also allowed to grow. Comment below if you felt this. Subscribe if you need more of this. And share if someone needs to hear this. Until then, I'll see you in my next video.